It's not going to be easy for them, is what I'm saying.
Not going to be easy for
It was never going to be
side.
easy for them.
No,
But
no matter what map they go to here, Furia know they're in with a chance to play spoiler by dragging Empire down into the depths of hell with them, and all of them will be heading home tomorrow if that's the way this pans out. Empire kicking things off with a ban onto the Nomad. They start on the defensive side, so this one a beneficial change or a beneficial ban towards them. Gives them the ability to be a bit more free around the map, hit Furia on the flanks later into the round if so desired. Next ban, going to be the Jackal coming out of Furia. So again, more, I suppose, anti-roamer prevention bans coming in here. So the Jackal normally used in tandem with things like the Lion to hunt down would-be roamers. One of those two key operators taken away for that regard.
moving on to the defenders, Mirror will be the first one to go. I'd expect to maybe see Valkyrie go as well. We see a lot of Valkyrie bans on course line. There's some pretty effective external cams, but as you say, you know, there are other options there. We've seen quite a lot of sort of Whammy and projectile blocking operators going as well. But no, it's going to be Valkyrie. Going to get rid of those black eye cameras. I mean, probably a good choice from Empire there. Furia used Valkyrie to pretty good effect the other day, so Empire just choosing to play without that one.
And to be fair, the Whammy bans have mainly come in from teams like Dark Zero, who want to run a metric ton of grenades. And I'll keep on touching on it, but I believe in their attacking half, they brought along, 30 plus grenades and only found one kill. It was pretty ludicrous. Let's see how things shape up with the Hookabilia's defense kicking things off for the side of Empire. No spicy picks really coming in for either side. Looking at it, we'll look in towards the Flores here, maybe as being the one wild card that we sometimes see being brought along, but absolutely not a common pick that every single team is rolling. Feels like it's more fit into a niche for a few select teams, but I think the destruction power on Flores is absolutely insane, especially when you have dug-in locations like the top of Vars, for example, or anywhere behind bar where you might have ADSs and shields also being stacked up. You also saw that sick pick at the last second, Dan, going away from the Jaeger on to the Whammy. And maybe you're wondering, why is that such a big deal? Like, they're the same role, they aren't that different in terms of style. A lot of it comes down to the fact that Whammy can now have more magnets recharging. You're not really looking to have Whammy out on the map in this instance where he is your only anti-nade operator. He'll want to be staying alive a little bit later into the round, looking to do a bit of work, and my good old faithful gun in the MP5K, of course, also being brought along.
I know that you love that MP5K, Des. I mean, it's a good gun. Don't get me wrong, it's a good gun.
Allowed.
All I'm saying is when Mute is the only shotgun operator on the defensive lineup, sometimes it's a good idea to bring the shotgun so you can make the rotate.
I feel like I'm being attacked here, Tim.
Well, stop bringing the MP5K on Mute. Empire going to be kicking us off on the defence then. We're into the action phase. We are underway here. And what an important game. What a big start. There's Joystick getting in there with a big opener onto Rare. Really putting down a marker for Empire here. This is how we're going to play it. We're here to win. We know what we need and we're going to come and take it.
That's a lot of disrespect being shown by Furia, I fear there. Normally you can just chuck a drone inside a pool entrance and keep an eye on what's going on in Sunrise, but not even that plays into their favour. Massive starting kill on to the Flores. We were speaking about the dug-in locations behind shields. We were speaking about the ability to remove away key gadgetry like these two bulletproof cameras. That suddenly is going to be a lot harder with a lot of reliance now turning in towards the 3 frag grenades that Fantasy and Highs have between them.
Fantasy just gets a little peek onto Siler there. Can't hit any shots. Siler going to keep himself locked away safely behind the Vars. Now, I would imagine, not going to take on that peek. Doesn't need to. Joystick just waiting by pool entrance there. Gets seen on the drone. Des Highs looks to just take a little quick peek there, but Joystick has got himself crouched down. Keeps his head out of trouble. And he's going to back away and just try to take this fight on a longer angle for the time being. Look at that from Highs. He takes an awful lot of damage, but finds the head of Joystick. There's the first 2 kills here in their own way have both been ludicrous, and we are in for a war. I can smell it.
Well, again, Empire are the ones who sorely need the 3 points, and Furia aren't the type to roll over and die and say, here's your 3 points without a fight. Absolutely not. And that's exactly how round number 1 has started out. We're getting towards those final 60 seconds. You can see on the attack inside of Furia, Aqua, 90, both in their control. Empire currently untroubled, unbothered, unfazed. Stand up around cool vibes, and you've got to worry about the sledge playing from below.
Diffuser still down on the ground, as I think Rare might have been carrying it when he was taken out by Joystick, and it's still out there outside of the blue bar window from what I can see. Could be wrong. We've just got, we've got the little marker going in that direction. We'll see. Just been collected. Right, okay. Miracle's, I was just going to say, Miracle's been and got it. I was a little bit worried because Furia was starting to shape up like they were pushing on towards site, and I'm thinking, you got to go and get that briefcase. Only 30 seconds left to go. Miracle doesn't waste any time whatsoever. Gets himself in, starts putting it down, but it doesn't matter because everybody dies around him, Des. Finds himself 1 versus 4. He's now trying to chip away at this, but with 19 seconds left to go, this is a huge ask. A Toxic Babe canister still in pocket here to block this out. There it goes. He cannot now move into sight in the remainder of this round without taking a lot of damage. Miracle, he's just going to hold his line, see if he can get himself a kill or two, but he knows that this round is done.
Shepherd, the exit frag there, the KD stacking up, because why the hell not? A good first round for Empire, and we know it was that sort of 1-for-1. You can see Furia with the right sort of setup playing on the downstairs, nades coming up towards Sunrise Ceiling. They had the Aqua setup, one playing on 90, all ready to converge, I imagine, into an Aqua plant, with the idea being that the sledge would disrupt those playing back inside a hookah to contest from range. Just sadly could not pull it together. 3 quick kills go in the way of Empire, and a 4v4 becomes a 4v1 incredibly quickly.
Certainly did. It was a nice little collapse there at the end from Empire, just picking up kill after kill. They're going to head into round 2. They will be defending downstairs, pretty much the same location on the map, just directly underneath. They're going to be in Blue Bar and Sunrise this time around. I don't think they can rely on a big opener like they had last time from Joystick. He's not going to keep getting away with that time after time. Furia, I'm sure, are going to be looking for that sort of danger this time. They're going to be using the drones, using their eyes to keep an eye on those barricades. Make sure that they're not giving away any freebies to the likes of Joystick. But they need to make sure that they do that, because coming in here with sort of a short-handed crew against Empire is never going to serve you well. For the time being, Empire, they're just going to try to keep this rolling on defense. They want to get themselves as much of a lead as possible here, because as we've said, and we'll remind you, a full 3 points is essential for Team Empire. They are reliant on other results, but the one thing that is in their control is whether they win this inside of 12 rounds or not.
Absolutely. You've got Damwonk here, of course, setting up against SSG across on the other stream, so if you want to get both of those up and follow through the journey with us, then by all means, please do so. A reminder again, Damwonk here get a single point from that game, and they are the second team going through. And what would have been a fantastic performance across the board for Apex, and a number of teams really step up and show. We've, of course, already got Sandbox going through elsewhere, so 2 APAC teams coming in would be a wonderful balance.
Dan, always both getting aggressive on towards those east-sided doors. They've just got the little holes opened up, and they're just waiting for anybody to stray past. Whether that finds them a kill or whether it just gets them some damage done might not matter. But Highs sneaking down Cool Vibes there, but he's going to be picked up by the Banshee, so he won't quite get away with that manoeuvre. I think he was hoping to get down to the bottom of there completely unseen, but Shepherd now, after hearing the signal of that Banshee as he moved into it, is well aware that Highs might be trying to push forward. Now on the sledge, Highs wants to be thinking about maybe getting some of that top floor opened up before he goes throwing himself onto the sword of Empire.
Absolutely. I mean, he's inside a hookah at this point, but you saw the setup inside of Sunrise. There was a shield down there, a bunch of magnets scattered around. They've really dug in, and it's almost like we just called it out for him there, Ace. Highs getting to work on opening up that flooring. Fantasy taking his old position of flank watch and looking to contest onto Cool Vibes. I can't imagine he wants to go pushing in too aggressively. Gets rid of the Evil Eye. I don't know if he's aware that Shepherd's still tucked in under the stairs here, but a smoke coming out to deter a push coming down quite early in the round. There's still 100 seconds to play, and one of those 3 smoke canisters coming out, they're highly valuable and only last about 8 seconds each. Might come back to bite them a little bit as the round progresses.
Here we go then, Scyther. He's got himself onto low health, and he's going to be shut down by Rare. 5 versus 4 now. Fury getting themselves an important opener, but they still haven't got themselves yet established around site in a manner to be able to get that diffuser down, but they've got plenty of time, Des. 1 minute 10 seconds. They can keep working on it, keep softening Empire up. But important position I was just about to highlight was Joystick playing on that pool door, and he's found the first Des. He's taken Rare out, and with him go the Rotero drones. Joystick sat behind a load of utility.
Problem is the mute jammers will block those from being able to get anywhere near that shield. Unfortunately, they'll be stuck on the other side of the wall. But for now, there's magnets, a shield, a mute jammer, all sorts to keep pool entrance safe, which is why you're hoping for Furia's side. They look to get a bit of pressure on. We're down to about 35 seconds. They've got 2 in office, 1 watching white, and High is still on high, looking to do some work. And I'm just a bit, this is like the small things about it, right? Little flank drone set up to watch things like this. It's all too easy for Empire. Yet again, a 4v4 has now turned into a 4 versus 1 because they have no idea and no awareness as to where Empire are. This should be a closeout here. Fantasy left in a 1 versus 3. There's one more in the hallway, can't quite win the gunfight onto Shepard. 2 rounds in a row for Empire.
Furia are panicking, Des. Furia panicking. You saw it there. It gets down to that last sort of 30 seconds to a minute, and they're starting to drop courtyard without knowing that there's somebody from Empire in there, for example. They're sort of starting off well at the beginning of the round. They've got the plan, they're focused, they're going in, looking to execute it. A couple of things go wrong, and then it's like, just becomes chaos for Furia, or it has over the last couple of rounds. There you go, perfect example. You know, they can't be giving Empire those sorts of freedom because they're going to take advantage of it, simple as that.
It's one of those that I look at and just think, again, it's the flank drones being set up. That's just...
You must be able to hear that. Fluke's got, I love it. I love the energy from Em there. She's going absolutely wild on the other stream. We don't know what's going on. We don't know whether it's SSG or...
I mean, that's a lie. I've got the stream up in front of me, but it is 3 minutes delayed.
Exactly that, you see. And it does directly impact our game here. Empire are 2-0 up. As we've said, and I promise I'll stop saying, I'm not going to keep banging on about it, but for anybody who's joined, Empire can still qualify for the playoffs. They have to get a full 3 points here, so they have to win inside of 12 rounds. They also have to rely on Space Station Gaming taking all 3 points against Dan Wonkia. That then brings us down to the head-to-head. I don't even necessarily know how that shapes up. It'll depend on scores and things because it can come down to round difference. So I'm not even going to promise there that Empire go through. But what I do know is the best thing they can do is win this by as many rounds as possible. That much I will say.
Absolutely true. I mean, it sounds like their game's going to be pretty pumped up the whole way through, given you've got Blue and Fluke putting their pipes to that game. It's going to be pretty magical from start to finish. Again, 2 incredible games to watch here across both of these 2 streams. Now, Dan, bringing along the cap can. If anyone can, then Dan can. Some magic work that you can do with these. Of course, if you've missed it, you can down double stack, triple stack, or even put all 5 on one doorway if you so choose. And that means any would-be attackers that aren't quite paying attention may find themselves heading into an early grave. So we'll keep a close eye on the entry points for Furia and make sure they're dealing with these traps that are being set up. Again, it just comes down to a bit of drone work and intel collection on the side of Furia. In that past round, no idea of what was going on inside of lobby, what was going on inside of courtyard, what was going on inside of security, and they got stung from all 3 locations. We need to see a bit more discipline, boys, if you're going to be able to bring down Empire on their defenses.
Lender just going to use that DJ booth repel for the time being, try and catch anybody out inside of VIP. That's exactly what Furia are working towards for the time being. They're attacking onto Kitchen, so they want to get the vertical angles again. It's something that Furia tried last time around, didn't manage to get too much success with it on the Blue Bar Sunrise attack. We'll see if they can make that verticality pay dividends here. Now then, this is interesting from Empire Des. They've got 3 off-site around security and submarine.
I mean, they've had 3 off-site previously and been absolutely fine. You know, the pressure from Furia hasn't really come in. They've loosely set up towards a push, but with very little awareness as to where the members of Empire actually are. And in some cases, what looks like a lack of care. So we'll see if that changes coming into the round. The thing is, they should know about this setup. I speak about it all the goddamn time. Defenders these days will play inside of lobby and look to play through the triple wall that leads up into service where you now have to plant. You can't plant inside of service entrance anymore. So number 1 for the attackers to deal with is vertical control. Step number 2 is to get lobby control. That's why you've got Fantasy sat on the front door looking to provide pressure onto the player that's inside of security. There's 2 or 3 players though currently off-site for the side of Empire and happy to say, look, we'll contest you. If you want to push in from office, we'll have an answer. You want to come and push us in lobby, there's 2 of us to contest with. So I like how Empire are currently set up. They don't want to give up any ground to Furia and plan on making this as difficult as possible.
Shepard just going to hold down in sight. Nothing unusual there. That is his primary role, generally speaking. Just going to try and hold off any push from that service door. Fantasy trying to get himself established inside the main lobby at the minute. He knows that there's at least some of Empire's force off in security. It is the Malusi of Cider. He takes some damage there, and Cider manages to just use some fancy footwork, dance and dive and duck away from that damage from the grenade. Fantasy's taken a real chunk of damage there, and he's trying to push forward now, almost ignoring Cider. Does rightly too, and manages to find 1, but shut down immediately. Shepard gets 1, Shepard gets 2, Dan on another, and it's all Empire again. They are turning it on when they need to, Des.
So strange that ace. It's almost weird. You don't clear out the guy inside of security and it's going to end your attack nice and easy. Fantasy had a really good chance to get that double spray down through hallway, but I don't think he saw Dan at the back. It took him about half a second to register, and by then, Dan flicked, shut down Fantasy, and the attack collapsed from there. The thing is, Fantasy would still have to turn and win the fight they're coming in. And this is the one we'll see here, look. Just narrowly misses out on the spray down, realises a second too late, and Dan gets the shutdown. But from here, this is where the kill comes in from security. Really, Fantasy needed to get those 2 kills and kill the security player. That is a lot for one player to achieve by themselves. So again, Furia just don't have a complete plan.
They need the support from the other players. As you say, Fantasy can't be going in trying to challenge everything at once. He needs some support. Particularly, Scyther should have been dealt with there in security. There's a nade gone in. Fantasy knows he's there. He's pushing it. He's taking damage from there. As you say, he can't just turn his back on him. He can't just turn around and say, right, okay, Scyther's not a problem anymore. Because Scyther is going to be a problem. He's going to come out and he's going to hurt you on the flank. You can't just leave him there. If you don't have the answer, you've got to find it. You've got to find it, not just stop looking. Now then, Furia, 3-0 down. Let's remember one thing about Furia, Des. We saw this earlier against Damwon Kia. They can fall behind, they can flick a switch, turn it on and come back into it. What I will say is they were better on the attack than they were on the defence earlier. They struggled on the defence, so this is not boding well for them at the minute to be able to turn this around. But sometimes we do get that from them where it doesn't really matter whether it's attack or defence, just that switch inside. Sometimes they'll just start locking rounds down. So Empire need to not get carried away. Keep a level head. There's a job to be finished here, and they need to make sure they get it done.
I mean, Empire could be hot trash on their attacks for all we know. Give it a few rounds, see how the second half plays out. Dan looking to be cheeky through the drone hole there, but unfortunately no one's sniffing around Boggs right now. Not able to find himself a free B. Except a Frisbee coming out inside the lobby to catch any thrown utility that might come in through that front door, in which you can sometimes expect nades from normally players like Fantasy, who will be waiting on that front door. There's a drone, nice and close. Lender currently sat on it, sees the man sat in the back corner, and this could be his free trade or free exchange coming in. Goes for it, but Dan is just better. Gets the opener onto Lender, and that's all inside the first 45 seconds.
Reloading ammo.
Joystick gets himself sat inside a kitchen. He's going to move around a little bit. He's going to get himself back out. He's just trying to play underneath, essentially. Absolutely no surprise. He's got the nitro in hand, so he's thinking about that vertical denial opportunity that might come a little bit later in the round. And in fact, I think he's got himself down into office now. No, that's the mute of Scyther. So there's a couple playing underneath. They've got options there. So that's important for Empire, and it's something that they've done well so far. A little bit concerned that Sight is a little bit light at this point, but not the end of the world. But if they get caught out coming back, it could be an issue.
The thing is, Empire are so scattered, and against other teams, I think like the way Team 1 played against Sandbox, you could be so good at isolating these individual members, droning them out, pushing them in with 2 or 3, but Furia seem far more concerned with, almost pretending they don't exist and ignoring them as a problem, and instead thinking about what the site can look like. That makes me nervous. You'll get hit on the flank, you'll get C4'd from below, you'll get yourself 2v1 if you're not extra careful. Look, Furia is Rare Sorry is the other side of the map, as is the Sledge. It's only these two on the south side and Aqua that are now playing together. I'm just nervous this could go horribly wrong. They've got 5 drones left to live, so a couple of flank drones on the go as well. But here comes a potential 1v1. There's no droning coming in, and that is another free kill. Furia, what is going on?
As you say, just going in there without the information that they need. It's absolutely easy for Joystick to play from there. Miracle's going to get himself downed as well. Haz is trying to get something going out of VIP. Gets the spray down. Will find a kill onto Scyther. Shut down by Dan. And that is the end of the round. It is just 1 + 1 = 2 for Empire right now. They had the men underneath. There was absolutely no opportunity for Furia to take control of site, to be able to get a plant down. Furia just aren't disrupting Empire at all, and that is something that's important for attackers to try to do. 2 defensive sides. You got to disrupt them, Des, because the defenders have got the advantage of setting everything up. So they're looking at a situation and they're thinking, right, what's the absolute ideal way for us to hold this? And if you don't move them, guess what? They're going to play in that ideal way. They're going to play in the way that they want to do. Furia must do better at disrupting them.
We'll call it what it is. Call a spade a spade. It's half-assed coming out of Furia. They're not doing the fundamentals like the basic drone work, getting them held in locations where you've got flank watch on the go, even getting yourself primed for an attack. They lost 2 members pushing in through Aqua with no response coming back. Sure, Sledge is pushing in from VIP. Finds one, instantly gets traded out from behind Hookah. It's again going back to bare basics and things that are starting to sting them. Even in previous rounds, we've seen the Sledge, for example, nade from Sunrise upwards and do a good chunk of damage onto Dan, who was on the Wamai. Again, basics, boys. If you've got to take it back to it, all push in the same direction. Do a bit of drone work, burn through some magnets and ADSs, whatever it takes. This tactical pause, I hope, really starts to correct things. Again, coach stepping in, clearly identifying much of the same issues, and I'm hoping we get to see them be a little more competitive here. Otherwise, Empire are careering towards a 6-0 half.
It's certainly looking that way. The thing is, Empire nowadays, they're sort of sitting pretty. There's a lot of pressure on them for the result in this one because they want to make it through to the playoffs. There's a lot of pressure on them to win as well as they can do in terms of round count. So now they're at 4-0 and they're starting to cruise a little bit and they're starting to think, yeah, you know, this is just now rinse and repeat. Keep going like this. We're winning gunfights. We're being unpredictable. Furia have got to change something here because if they carry on, we know, above all for Empire does, if you let them continue to do the same thing over and over, they will just do it better than you. Simple as that, and that's what they're showing us.
They are the bar in this fixture that Furia need to ascend above. So far they could do with the helium bar to get themselves high enough. It hasn't looked great yet. I'm hoping again that tactical timeout gets them back into the mix of things. Blue Bar and Sunrise going to be the next site that we step into. Looking over what's going on the other stream, I know again that we are on a 3-minute delay, so by the time you guys hear this at home, it's already 3 minutes too late, but it's 1-on-1 over there, so it's nice and close. For all we know, Ace, we get to finish this game nice and fast and get to go and sit and watch that one. That'd be good fun.
That would be entertaining to know what's happened and to see what the outcome's going to be. 5 versus 5 at the beginning of this action phase, as you would expect. No early peaks or aggression coming in from Empire. They don't need to anymore. They've sent that message to Furia, and now they're happy to let them play into the map. Highs once again able to go in aggressively, looking as he did last time for that aggression onto Cool Vibe stairs. But Shepard, you know, he's just Mr. Calm and Collected Des. He's not going to overextend here. He's not going to think that he can go and challenge onto Hookador with a shotgun. He's just going to keep himself locked down. If Highs wants to get aggressive, Shepard's going to fight him. If not, he's going to sit there and burn time.
Last time they needed fight, I'll tell you what, he definitely went for it there, thinking, you know what?
Thanks, Shepard.
Like freebie. Just to completely proving your point wrong. But hey, the way I look at it is last time they had to get Fantasy to come and sit on Cool Vibes so that Highs could focus on getting the floor opened up. They need to do much the same here, in my opinion. You know, it's been about a minute in now. You held the angle long enough. You've let Fantasy do what else he needs to do around the map. Get him to come in and provide some cover, whilst you get a focus on the go of opening up these vertical holes and making Empire more uncomfortable.
Joystick looking out of that Sunrise Bar window again. It's somewhere that he's had a little bit of joy from already, as we saw. There's nobody to challenge onto at the minute, but he's just going to be patient and wait his time. He's going to keep playing in and around that area. We saw it from him last time. He picked a kill up onto pool entrance door, and he's just going to play in behind all that utility. Now then, it looks like they're just trying to make an effort at clearing it out. He sees his man, looks to make the challenge. Careful, Joystick gets caught out nearly.
No way!
How does he find it? He almost ends up in a bad vault animation there in front of the window to be challenged, and somehow instead kills Lender? Joystick!
It's, again, just a solo push from a member of Fury that I'm not sure on. Fantasy doing just that, almost loses his own life, but does get the kill onto Shepard at the bottom of Cool Vibes. But look who's waiting. It's Joystick, who just found a kill a second ago, stepping on his way up. Tosses out the C4, no one to be found. Shotgun, still back in hands. They've solved one problem in Shepard, but now Joystick has stepped into his place. There is always another soldier waiting.
The problem now for Empire,
oh,
there you go. Joystick cleared out, wonderful nade from Highs. The other problem is Joystick was playing in the default plant spot. He's been pulled away to cover Shepard's location on Cool Vibe stairs, so it leaves the plant spot available. Furia have got something to work with here, Des. After that timeout, they've managed to create a situation whereby they've got a more realistic chance of executing. Sit down, says Highs, as he manages to spray always down through the soft wall. Miracle's done exactly as suggested, got himself in, started getting that diffuser down. Sider finds one, but he's got 3 more to go. Diffuser activated, and he's up against it now. There's a man in there, he sees him. Can he get the kill? Yes, 1 versus 2.
One more.
Still got a lot of work to do. He's trying to find these last 2. Diffuser's down and activated. Shut down as Rhea sees him move in. And that was a good effort. It was valiant from Sider, but unable to find the round. Empire lose their first, Furia win theirs, and it is 4-1 now on the scoreboard in favour of Empire.
Yeah, great grenade kill coming out from Highs. It did take them about 90 seconds to get into the groove of setting up on the top floor. Fantasy finding Shepard. Highs with the nade from above, bringing down 1 more. Took a bit of time and a scrappy initial execute. I'll say it as it is, you know, getting Sunrise there for a second, I was like, there is no way in hell Joystick should be finding a kill and getting out when there are 3, if not 4 players all trying to pressure onto him. I really thought there'd be a trade coming in. Add in Highs with a miraculous spray down coming in onto Highway. does grant the round over to Furia. It's 1. Can they find 2 to make the second half a little more breathable?
Going to be the final defence now for Team Empire inside of Kitchen. We've seen them defend this back in round number 3. It was, as you can guess, an Empire win, seeing as Furia have only won on Sunrise. It was a pretty watered down effort from Furia. If you remember last time around, as attacking onto Kitchen, it all came down to Fantasy just trying to push main lobby essentially. He was getting challenged from 2 directions, shut down, and then it was just kill after kill for the side of Empire. So Furia, if they want to get some success here, they need to work as more of a team to get themselves established. They need to support Fantasy in that push. I want to see them pushing. If they find Cider insecurity, send 2 or 3. Can you get somebody in through Office? Can you pinch him? You know, let's see Furia working as a team to create unwinnable situations for Empire.
That's what's been missing, really. It's been, again, the teamwork, right? The pinches, the droning across the map, the watching flanks. It's the little basics that, you know, any team at this level should be able to execute with consistent perfection. Let's see, though, how the setup comes in. Dan, once again, back onto the cap can. Not snapping up too many of those onto the blue door at this point. I think it was just the one that he placed down on there, but he is off and around the map, looking to waste a bit of time out towards Blue Bar, out towards Office, for example. Surely the side of Furia know that this is going to be the game plan. They've seen what they've been doing for the longest while already so far. For those Roteros looking to see what they can find. Will it be a player? Will it be utility? Here, it times out on cool vibes, no target found.
That's it. I think it was just going maybe for a little bit of intel gathering as well, and also expecting that there might be a deployable shield, there might be ADSs, just to try and keep somebody in, given that there are reinforcements at the top of Cool Vibe stairs there. But Empire will not have played any, always, as you say, with a great shot onto Fantasy, managing to take the man down outside of Theatre. And I've got a feeling, Des, that Always and Cider are going to be very difficult to move out of Theatre and VIP.
Theatre and VIP.
Bad combination.
It is, yeah, absolutely. That one, again, I look at and think, well, you swung in for a drone for a fight there and no drones coming in. This one, again, no one droning what was going on inside of VIP. If you want to push in blind like this, why not pick up something like a Decabi or, you know, a Lion is still available, of course, on the board. We're not seeing any of those things really coming into for Empire. They already have massive advantages coming into the start of every single one of these fights. A 5 versus 3 in place. Furia finally finding one back. Scyther does get pinched out in the end, but at what cost? A lot of time and 2 kills over to Empire.
You still got Always to deal with as well. As I said, you know, Cider and Always as a pair were going to be difficult to deal with. Thank you, Always, doubling down on my point there, finding a kill onto Highs, and Furia still haven't dealt with this top floor. Always goes back for more. He's going to drop Blender. He's going to finish him off. Traded out by Rare, but it's practically irrelevant at this point. 1 versus 3, and Empire just ensuing carnage, Des, over this Furia side at the minute. There's just absolutely nothing that the Brazilian team can do to stop Empire in what has, at the minute, been an absolute run over on Coastline.
Empire playing a fantastic Coastline game to give it to them, though, right? Getting out of the map, using what grounds being left open by Furia, abusing the lack of information. I was going to say check the other side, buddy, boy, he gets rid of one and walks straight into the other. Malusi giving away exactly where he is. Empire will be in the full know that a single bullet onto a 20 HP enemy should bring them down. Hits the deck, and it's going to be Rare winning this one out. A 1 versus 2. Can he bring down both Joystick and Shepard? Shepard with 3 smoke canisters still in the back pocket. He's got all the time in the world to delay things here if he wants to. 20 seconds on the clock. Rare baiting out with a flash on the other side. Rotates round, pushing in through service. Can he find his man? One who's outside in the hallway? He cannot. The one close to the left, surely he can step in and try and locate. Goes for the swing in, but Joystick finds the door. It's a 5-1 half for Empire, and it is the best possible outcome they could have looked for.
It's going very, very well for them. I'm sure that, you know, if you'd offered them 5-1 at the beginning of this, they'd have absolutely ripped your hands off, Des. They know they need to win by as many rounds as possible, and they are almost doing that. They're not 6-0, but they are 5-1 up. This is going extremely well. They move on to the attack, and they need to close this out as quickly as possible. What they don't want to do here, of course, is let Furia back into it. You can't give them any room to breathe. I want to see Empire being aggressive on the attack here, Des. Don't let Furia settle into these defences. Get themselves into the building quickly. I'm not saying throw lives away, but get behind those drones. We just need sharp, precise, quick work from Empire. If ever they're going to deliver it, now is the time. Get in, get into Furia's face, and just try and get early kills.
Penthouse Theatre. We did not see Empire step into this site, but that's exactly what Furia are going to give a good go. You've got the castle on side, who I've mentioned so many times over the last 2 or 3 days. Now has 4 armor panels to bring, in case you missed that one. A change that many looked at and said, oh, well, it shouldn't change all that much. I would wager it's definitely raised his pick rate. Maps like Bank, we've seen it being employed a lot on the top floor. Chalet in a couple of places. Here on Penthouse in a couple too. Really interesting seeing what it's being able to do for some setups that teams want to bring along. Otherwise, you're looking towards the Wamai and the Jaeger. A lot being committed there into that anti-nade utility. Expecting a lot of throwing utility to come in from Empire, which there is some. 9 flashbangs, 2 frags coming through. Not an absolute ton, but at least enough.
Getting in towards the action phase then. Going to be down to Empire to get themselves involved. Bulletproof Cam is going to be looking onto the double window. Just try and provide a bit of intel if they have anybody on the rappel out there. Maybe assist in a challenge coming onto it. They've also got a deployable shield out there in the 90 corridor that looks through the peak holes that have been opened onto double window. So that should tell you just how important double window is. There's a lot of focus, a lot of attention. And what did I say about Empire getting in the building quickly and doing damage? That's exactly what they're doing, Des. Highs is down but not out. Miracle's on less than half health, and Empire are not giving Furia a second to breathe here. Joystick goes in and finishes that kill onto Highs. That's the opener, and Miracle, he needs to be very careful because otherwise he's going to be going in the same direction with 3 smoke canisters in pocket.
And that is inside 30 seconds. Great start coming in for Empire. Highs taken down from on high incredibly quickly. And now the attention coming into VIP. They can look to get the wall open up on the other side if they want. Dan has just dropped down there on the Thatcher, which will help them commit to it. It's Rare with the MP5K in hand, looking to see what he can do. And look at that. Is that a drone I see? Wow. Didn't see that for the first 6 rounds. Giving an idea as to where Rare is forced to now pull back. Joystick with the double window under his control as well means that there's a lot of land for Empire to step forward and grab for themselves here. Much of Furia being scattered towards 90, on towards the south side of the map. They've basically abandoned sight except for those playing down inside a theatre.
Exactly that, and Joystick, they've got free reign now. Sorry, Empire, free reign behind Joystick to move in to Hall of Fame. Exactly what's going to happen. They'll take control over VIP. They need to be aware of the man out in Hooker. Going to have to do something about that. They've got Rare underneath. So Empire just need to be careful that they make sure they're aware of exactly where everybody is here, because there's only one member on site realistically. Ooh. Rare is going to find Joystick. It's Fantasy who's trying to lock down site, leaving us now in a 4 versus 4.
Lender holding off towards the end of Highway as well. Out towards Var's side to stop any kind of hookah push coming through. Right now for the side of Empire, they're all grouped up and looking to push their way into VIP. Bit of a crouch walk forward. Can Lender do anything from the backside here? I'm not sure they're even aware. They've smashed the wall open. He's stepping forward, looking to see what he can do. Do they even know he's here? They miss him in the first case. Tries to step across, gets slaughtered. Lender rendered by the Russian Blender. Plant goes down. A 1 versus 4. It's another Empire round. It's going to be 6-1, and they're going to be looking so close to walking away with those 3 points.
Rare going to see if he can do absolutely anything at all here. Effectively 1 versus 4. He's got an opportunity to potentially pick his man up, but Scyther says, no thank you. Steps out onto the 90 corridor, gets the kill, finishes them both off with a little bit of finesse at the end there. And that's going to be Empire taking themselves onto match point. I said at the beginning that all that Empire could do was focus on their own result. They just had to do everything they could to get this win and put 3 points on the board. They've just got to put the pressure on Dan Wonkia and just hope that SSG do the business for them. Empire have done exactly that so far. 1 round away, they're going to be attacking onto Hooker and Billiards.
Such a bugger as well, because for Lender, I really thought he could walk away with a couple of kills there. Sure, you can't see the man planting, but 1 pixels tucked away behind the DJ decks and then gets sliced apart from the guy up towards north on the VIP wall. It's unfortunate, but Furia are looking to end this tournament definitely in dead last. No way of crawling their way even up in towards 3rd at this point. It's most definitely going to be the war between Empire and Dan Wonkia, and Empire are putting on a statement here and making a good fair case for why they should be in playoffs. But I guess I can kind of reiterate, not to take away from Empire playing this as they should do and abusing every advantage that Furia are giving over to them, but it feels more like it's Furia turning up to lose here than Empire strictly being here to win.
Exactly that now then. Could be the final round ahead of us here. We are in Hooker and Billiards. Nothing massively out of the ordinary for Furia in terms of lineup. They've got Mozzie there, try and deny some of those drones. As we said, Des, Empire doing a great job of knowing where they were, getting in there, making those challenges. So probably a good call, but Rare's going to have to do some work. He needs to be catching some of them drones. He needs to be denying that intel and in fact using it on the reverse against Empire.
least early on. No opening deaths coming in. I mean, previously it's been a couple of times, what, at the 30, 45 second mark, where there's been those early engagements where someone has walked away with a kill. Normally, Empire, it feels, across the majority of these rounds. Fantasy looking to cause a little bit of hot bother here out towards service entrance. Wants to go for a run out. Can, of course, one punch this barricade and go for an instant run out. There is someone to his left. I think he might be watching this one. Goes out, gets the freebie, and almost gets traded out, but finds Joystick. A great first kill to start the round.
Well played from Fantasy there. It's certainly something that Furia needed. Just an instigator, a catalyst to get in there and do something. But Dan moves quickly, predicts Fantasy's movements. Couldn't catch him on the service door, but he does catch him at the bottom of main stairs. Level things out 4-4 with a late trade there. Empire, keep this momentum going. Keep this pace going. Don't let Furia settle. They need to keep the aggression up. That's what they're doing. They're getting VIP open. The drones are going in there. Empire are going to look to push in behind that quite quickly, I'd have thought. Shepard just making sure that the way is clear, and then he's going to try and find a long angle into sight.
I love how it's kind of setting up that every member on Empire is having a huge impact, by the way. It's 5 kills at the lowest on Shepard's side, always adding another one to his tally as they move into a 4 versus 3. They've still got 90 seconds to play with, Tim. So much time and so much resource with which to close out this round. They've still got 2 frags on side, 6 flashes to play behind if they really need them. And Furia got to be starting to sweat at this point. This is looking like their heaviest defeat yet. A 7-1 potentially on the way if Empire can close this out.
4 versus 3. Time ticking away, but plenty of it left. Empire need to make sure that they're still progressing forward, getting towards sight, thinking about getting that diffuser down, which they always do. Oh, Lender taking a chunk of damage in the kitchen there from the window. Just manages to escape his way back upstairs, and you just feel from Furia here that they are ready to just try and dip back into sight and hold on to this. Lender taking a ton more damage, somehow survives on the Cool Vibe stairs for the time being. He's going to have to play this very, very safe now. Oh, any challenge he makes, there has to be a guaranteed kill. 40 seconds left to go. Empire, your fate is in your hands, and the best thing you can do is win this round.
It's just so late in the round to be trying to open up that rotate. There was simply no need, but this is how it shaped up. Miracle on the close side will manage to find himself one. Dan trades it back. It's still a 3 versus 2. They've got the numbers advantage and 20 seconds to play with, but that diffuser is cold dead, buried in the middle of a smoke canister. Shotgunning this one out. Can he get himself outside and go for the kill? No! Always chooses right on his right side, the right angle, and gets the kill. Highs at 1 versus 3. They should be able to get in and make this one go down. They haven't got a C4 on side. No way of stopping it. They see the man in the rotate. Surely they find the kill. No way has he timed it out. Dan at the last second finds the kill. Empire take their 3 points. They do all they can to give themselves the prime opportunity to finish in second place. And all they can do now is watch on as Dan 1 fight for victory.
That is what it is all about for Team Empire now. It's about what's going on that